Hi everyone, Kim Eagles here of Chaos Solutions. Moving clutter from one space to another. Do you have an issue with tackling a project in a decluttering space and having that space maybe get cleaned up, but then all you've done is kind of moved the chaos from one room to another? So you've moved the papers, you've moved all the stuff that you had in there, and you've ended up putting it somewhere else, maybe a garage, a hallway, another room. This is a common problem that a lot of people have. Believe it or not, it was a big problem when I used to declutter and tackle a project. I just made such a huge mess because I just tackled everything in the room and I just kind of pulled everything out, and everything that I didn't think belonged in the room would just go out in the hallway and then eventually it would get kind of moved around to someplace else. So it is an issue. Now, what I have done is that I have learned over the last 12 years in business how to actually organize with a system and be organized in my decluttering so that I don't end up with chaos at the end of a project. Maybe I have one room that's great, but then chaos is everywhere else. So it can happen. I now do it systemized, and I leave room for being able to put stuff away at the end of that project. So how do I do that? Okay, first and foremost, when you tackle a project and you're taking everything out, you need to learn to sort it and sort everything. So if there's things, even if it's things that you don't think are going to belong in that space, you still need to figure out what is that stuff. So just throwing them all into a basket that's a move elsewhere basket doesn't necessarily work without actually knowing what it is. Otherwise you have a big basket full of stuff that don't really go together. So sorting things out, figuring out what is this clutter, what is the stuff that's here, what goes together. So like with like, things that go together. Maybe it's certain rooms that they belong in and that they've just ended up in this other room temporarily. So maybe you have a box for the garage if it's stuff that goes in the garage, or if it's paperwork, then figuring out what type of paperwork this is and where it actually belongs. So the first thing is sorting it out. What is this stuff? That's key before you ever start moving it out or away. Second one, now look, the second one is about being ruthless. In order to declutter a space, you actually have to let go of things. Reduce, reduce, reduce. If you want to have a organized, peaceful space, you have to get rid of some of the stuff that you have. You can't just keep moving it around, or you're just going to end up with chaos in other places. That's what happens. So it's really key to be ruthless with what you let go of. Really be hard on yourself, and really ask yourself the questions about whether or not it serves you in this life right now. Is it serving you now? Not did it serve you in the past. If it's stuff that you maybe loved and used and liked in the past, that's great. Honor it, say thank you, and then let it go. So it's really key to allow yourself to be hard on yourself a little bit about what you're keeping, and reduce, reduce, reduce. It's the only way to actually get totally decluttered, is to reduce the amount of stuff that you have. The third is give it a home. So all the stuff that you don't get rid of and that you haven't reduced really needs a home. So whether it's a home in the space that you're decluttering at the time, or it goes somewhere else, making sure that that thing goes into its permanent home or where it actually belongs will make a big difference in not moving just boxes after boxes after boxes and then having to declutter again and again and again. You end up sorting the same things again and again and again. So in the process, make those decisions about what that stuff is and where does it belong in your space, if it belongs at all. You may do a second purge here and actually decide, okay, I got too many of these, or too much of this, or I can't find a home, I don't really need this. So you might be a little bit more ruthless with yourself the second time around when you're trying to figure out where does it belong in your space. It may actually not belong. So I know a lot of people, the excuse is always, but that's important. That thing is important. That paper is important. It might, it might be important. Yeah, maybe it is. it depends on what it is. It's not up to me to decide what you keep and what you don't keep, but really being honest with yourself and figuring out, what do you want in your space? Do you want your space to support you, to calm you? Do you want it to be a retreat from the rest of the chaotic world? When you walk in the door at the end of the day, do you want to be able to go, this is my place? Or do you want to go, ugh, look at all this stuff and trip over things? So it's really important to think about this here and decide what is important. Is the stuff important? Is keeping all those knickknacks and all those things important? Or is having a peaceful, calm, easy to maintain space more important? The less stuff you have, the less you have to maintain, the less you have to move around, the less you have to trip over. So think about what you want. Is that what you want in your life, that peace and calm? And if it is, then you have to be ruthless. So when you're doing this process, sort it out. What is all this stuff? 2, be ruthless. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Reduce, reduce, reduce. I can't tell you that enough. Declutter is about declutter. It's not about move clutter, it's declutter. That means you have to reduce it and get rid of it. And third and foremost, find a home. For the things that you do keep, find a home. They have to have a home in your space, a place for them to go. If they don't, they end up on the floor, they end up in boxes, they end up, cluttering up your space, and you end up moving them around and going through them again and again and again, and it's huge maintenance. So let it go. Find a home, right? You can do this. You really can. Take it one space at a time, one drawer at a time, and really tackle this so that you can have this wonderful life that you deserve and this beautiful home that you also deserve. Find that retreat. Find the place in your space that you can come home at the end of the day and go, that's what I wish for you. That's my job. That's what I help people do. If you need some coaching, let me know. Give me a call. If you want to stay updated on what's happening in the Kaos Solutions world, sign up to our newsletter, Kaos Solutions, Kaos with a K, K-A-O-S, solutions.com/newsletter. Sign up and you'll get our weekly newsletters with these weekly videos on some tips and tricks on how to declutter your life and live a peaceful, calm, in a peaceful, calm environment. I promise I will not clutter up your email, and I will not send you daily emails. It's just not my thing. I know everybody's just too overwhelmed as it is.